Let's talk about vegetables, okay? Even vegetables have a role. I mean, they have negative aspects. Current evidence tells us that studies consistently show that fruits and vegetables have a protective role in the etiology of lung cancer. And I have given one example, but there are many other types of cancer. And why? Because in the end, they accumulate many positive aspects. They accumulate a large amount of minerals, a large amount of vitamins, phytochemicals, which are compounds that have bioactive roles in the body. They accumulate fiber, they accumulate iron. We do not have a regulation that our body can manage correctly. They also have toxins. We are talking about pesticides, we are talking about heavy metals, okay? We need to take this into account. Therefore, something quite important in foods that we know may have toxicity is that we first know how to fit it well into our dietary routine, or how to guide it well for the dietary routine of another person who comes to our consultation. And step number 2 is to try to avoid, with culinary methods, let's say, in our handling of food, to try to reduce this toxicity that they have, which they have per se, that we cannot do anything about because we can decrease it by buying organic foods, but we will always be ingesting something. Another key point regarding cancer prevention is the stability of microorganisms in our body. It has been observed that in multiple types of cancer, there are associated pathological microbiological overgrowths, such as the Steinbar virus in lymphocytes, Helicobacter pylori in gastric cancer, hepatitis C in liver cancer, herpes virus in Kaposi's sarcoma, and papilloma in anal, cervical, head, and neck cancers. In short, a pathological microbiological overgrowth is always related to diseases. Therefore, if we can maintain a microbiological balance throughout our lives, we can contribute to the prevention of various types of cancer. Microorganisms compete for food. It is important to know this. This is called nutritional competition. If we make sure to include food for these microorganisms, which can be fiber, polyphenols, or resistant starch, and we also constantly provide positive microorganisms, we have a higher probability of having good intestinal health and, above all, maintaining a microbiological balance that protects us against these pathogenic overgrowths associated with these types of cancer. But the microbiological balance is multifactorial, just as the disease is multifactorial, and just as prevention must be multifactorial. And therefore, the environment, the fact that you are exposed to, for example, the smell of gasoline, we are exposed to everything. We have exposed you to the smell of paint. We have exposed you to these compounds found in different foods. The fact of aging, your diet, lifestyle, and lifestyle not only includes alcohol and tobacco, but we are also talking about physical activity, exercise, sleep health, and stress management. All of this includes lifestyle, especially genetics, with some people having more predisposition and others less to experience certain things in their life. Therefore, everything should be addressed in a multidisciplinary way. And today I hope that with this talk, some relevant guidelines become a bit clearer to you. Not just some guidelines, but understanding the context where it makes sense to introduce one thing more frequently and another thing less frequently. Recommending a patient to take certain dietary actions, not recommending it, okay? This is relevant. So what can we do nutritionally to, let's say, best support this microbiological balance? Well, we can consume whole foods. As we say, indigestible fiber is the main food for many groups of bacteria and microorganisms that live in our large intestine, among other places. Also, the consumption of foods rich in polyphenols. As we saw earlier, polyphenols are also food for many groups of beneficial microorganisms for our health. The consumption of raw vegetables, which includes the previous 2 points, the consumption of probiotics in foods, and the reduction of contraindicated dietary factors. And this is important, to minimize alcohol as much as possible. If it can be avoided, perfect. Minimize drug use as much as possible. If it can be avoided, perfect. Tobacco, pharmaceuticals, especially antibiotics, have a very harsh impact on, let's say, the balance of microorganisms in the body. And ultra-processed foods also have the ability to pathologically modulate this microbial stability.